There's a strange kind of silence that follows the strong ones, not because they don't speak, but because no one listens deeply. They are the people everyone turns to when things go wrong. The ones who show up at 2 a.m. without a second thought. The ones who carry burdens that were never theirs. They are dependable, grounded, always calm in chaos, and because of this, they are never asked how they are. Because the world assumes strength means they are doing just fine. But what the world forgets is that even pillars crack under pressure. Even the tallest mountains erode with time. The strong ones are not made in comfort. They are forged in fire. Pain shaped them, and disappointment carved their patience. Life didn't hand them peace. They had to build it from pieces of broken trust, silent battles and sleepless nights. But no one sees that. People see their calm demeanor and assume they've had it easy. They don't see the weight behind those tired eyes, or the way they force a smile, just so others don't worry. Their silence is misread as peace, their stillness mistaken for balance. But sometimes, silence is just exhaustion with a disguise. What makes their loneliness worse is how easily they are forgotten in rooms they once held together. When others cry, the strong console them. When others break, they become the glue. But when they fall apart, it's often behind closed doors. No one is there, not because they don't matter, but because they've convinced everyone that they don't need anyone. That's the role they've been given. Be strong, be silent, be okay, even when they're not, especially when they're not. People lean on them like trees in a storm, never asking if the roots are damaged. They don't realize that strength isn't the absence of pain. It's the decision to keep going despite it. And every time they say, "I'm fine," they're screaming inside, hoping anyone will hear beyond the words. But it rarely happens. The world respects the strong but rarely protects them. They are praised for their consistency, for always being there, for never complaining. But no one wonders what that costs. The strong ones suppress their fears because they believe they must. They swallow their emotions because they fear being seen as weak. And they keep showing up for others, even when no one shows up for them. Over time, this becomes a pattern, a life lived for others, with no space left for themselves. And so they begin to vanish, not physically, but emotionally. They laugh, but the spark is missing. They talk, but their words are hollow. They move through life like ghosts, present, but not truly seen. Their strength becomes a wall, and behind it, they're slowly fading, because no one ever thinks to knock. It's not that they want to be alone. It's that they've learned not to expect anyone to stay. Experience has taught them that people love strength, but not the vulnerability behind it. That the moment they stop being the strong one, they'll be left behind. So they stay quiet. They keep holding everyone else up, while silently falling apart. And yet, despite all this, they continue. Not because they have to, but because they care. Their heart is bigger than their pain. They can be drowning and still throw someone else a lifeline. That's what makes their strength so beautiful and so tragic, because the world keeps taking, and they keep giving until one day there's nothing left. So if you know someone who always seems okay, who never complains, who always says, "I'm good," check on them. Ask them twice. Listen without waiting to reply. Look beyond the smile. And if you are that person, the silent pillar, the helper, the listener, this is for you. You don't have to carry it all alone. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to be tired. Your worth is not measured by how much you can endure. You are more than your strength. You are human, and you deserve to be held just like everyone else. Strength is admirable. Consistency is respected. But what happens when both become a trap? What happens when your ability to always show up, always smile, always handle everything becomes your identity? People stop asking if you're okay. They stop wondering if you're tired, because in their minds, you're always okay. And the moment you slip, the moment you hesitate or say, "I need help," the world looks confused. They say, but you're the strong one," as if being human was never an option for you. Consistency, when misunderstood, becomes a prison. The strong are consistent not because life is easy for them, but because they have no choice. They learned long ago that people depend on them. They've been the problem solvers, the listeners, the emotional shelter for others for so long that breaking down feels like betrayal. So they keep showing up, even when they're empty, even when their chest is heavy and their smile is fake, because they fear what will happen if they stop. No one asks the strong how they keep going. No one wonders what it costs them. And the truth is, it costs everything. Their energy, their mental peace, sometimes even their health. But it's hidden behind routines, behind being on time, behind "I'm fine," because they believe if they fall, others will too. They've been carrying not only their own life, but the emotional weight of others, quietly, consistently. The problem is, when your strength becomes predictable, it becomes invisible, people stop checking in. They start assuming they're always calm. They're used to this. They never break. These are comforting illusions for everyone but the strong. Because when you're expected to be unshakable, your fear becomes invisible. Your anxiety is dismissed. Your exhaustion is ignored. All in the name of your so-called strength. It's a lonely place to be the one who's never allowed to stumble. It creates a subtle kind of pressure. Don't cry. Don't vent. Don't complain. Because people look up to you. But what if you're tired of being looked up to? What if you just want someone to sit with you? Not for advice, not for support, but just to remind you that you matter too. The strong ones often suffer in silence because they believe their problems are small compared to others. They tell themselves, "It's okay. I can handle this," even when their heart is begging for rest. They're afraid to speak up because they don't want to disrupt the peace. They don't want to appear dramatic, so they shrink their pain, dilute their emotions, and bury their needs. But strength isn't about never needing help. Real strength is having the courage to admit when you do. The problem is, by the time the strong admit it, it's usually too late. The burnout has already hit. The breakdown is already happening because no one noticed the signs. And worse, no one expected them to have asterisk signs. That's the dark side of consistency. You become so good at surviving, people forget to ask if you're truly living. And what hurts the most is when you finally open up. People don't believe you. They think you're just having a bad day. They say things like, "You'll bounce back," or "You're always so strong," as if strength means immunity to sadness. That invalidation cuts deeper than silence. It makes the strong retreat further into themselves. But here's the truth. Even the most consistent people need a break. Even the strongest souls need softness. And if you are that person, the one who's always okay, I hope you know it's okay to not be okay. You're allowed to fall. You're allowed to pause. You don't have to carry it all just because you've done it before. You are not a machine. You are a heart, a soul, a story, worthy of care, not just admiration. Your consistency does not have to come at the cost of your well-being. Let someone in. Let someone see you, not just your strength, but your struggle. You've carried enough. It's time someone carries you, even just for a while. Have you ever felt completely alone, even while surrounded by people? It's a strange emptiness. The room is full. Voices are loud. Smiles are everywhere. But inside, you feel like you're not really there. You laugh when everyone laughs. You nod at the right times, but it's all a performance. Because deep down, you know no one in that room truly sees you. And that's what it means to be the strong one. You become so good at appearing okay. No one ever asks if you're not. It's the kind of loneliness that doesn't come from absence. It comes from invisibility. The strong ones aren't lonely because no one is around. They're lonely because no one sees them. People see the helper, the motivator, the one with the answers, but who sees the cracks beneath the surface? Who notices when their voice softens with sadness, or when their eyes lose their light? Very few, because everyone's used to leaning on them, not looking asterisk into asterisk them. There's a deep pain in being known for your strength, but not your story. People celebrate what you can carry, but never ask how heavy it is. You become a place where others unload, but never a place where you can. And slowly, you begin to fade in the crowd. You're not excluded, you're just emotionally exiled. They talk to you, but not with you. They thank you, but never ask if you're tired. They listen to your words, but never hear your silence. And after a while, you start telling yourself, maybe this is just how life is. You stop expecting emotional intimacy. You stop hoping for someone to truly understand you. You shrink into your role. You become the reliable one, the calm one, the emotionally stable one, and you stay quiet. because breaking that image now would feel like letting everyone down, even though deep inside, all you want is someone to say, "You don't have to be strong today, you can just be." But here's the heartbreaking part. Many strong people were never given the chance to be anything else. From childhood, they had to grow up too fast. They had to be the parent, the protector, the fixer. They learned early on that love sometimes comes with conditions, and one of those conditions is staying useful. So now, even in adulthood, they equate being needed with being loved. They keep giving because they fear that if they stop, they'll disappear, and in that process they lose themselves. They may have hundreds of contacts in their phone, but no one they can truly call at 2 a.m. and say, "I'm not okay." They may be liked by many, admired by more, but known by no one. And that, more than anything, is the soul's quietest kind of ache. And so, they carry their loneliness like a secret, a quiet grief. They scroll through messages where no one asks how they are. They go to sleep wondering if anyone would notice if they disappeared. Not physically, but emotionally. If they stopped being the helper, the strong one, would people still love them? Would anyone stay? The strongest people often fear becoming a burden, so they carry everyone's weight without complaint. But inside, they're drowning. They're screaming in silence, hoping someone will sense it, but no one does, because no one thinks the strong could ever fall. If you are this person, please hear this. You are not alone in your loneliness. You are not wrong for wanting to be seen. You deserve more than being admired. You deserve to be understood. And I hope you find at least one soul who looks past your strength and into your truth. Someone who doesn't need you to be anything but real. Someone who can sit with your silence and still feel close. That kind of connection exists, and you deserve it truly. And if you know someone who's always fine, who never asks for anything, who's always checking on others, check on them. Look them in the eye. Ask them how their heart is. You might be the society loves to celebrate strength. We praise those who never complain, who keep pushing through pain, who always have it together. We look at them and say, "Look how strong they are." But we rarely stop to ask what that strength is made of. What had to break inside someone for them to become the strong one? And what happens when that strength, once admired, turns into isolation? For many, strength becomes not a choice, but a survival tactic. Life didn't offer softness, so they became hard. Life didn't offer understanding, so they became quiet. They learned early that vulnerability was dangerous, that showing weakness meant being judged or dismissed. So they stopped showing. They built walls, thick and high, not to push people away, but to protect what little they had left inside. But over time, those walls do more harm than good. What started as protection becomes a prison. The strong start to lose touch with their own emotions. They forget how to cry, how to ask for help, how to just be human. They become what everyone expects them to be: reliable, calm, unshakable. And even when they're hurting inside, they wear that smile like armor, because they've learned it's safer to pretend than to explain. Safer to say, "I'm good," than to risk the awkward silence that follows real honesty. And the world doesn't help. We live in a culture that glorifies hustle, resilience, and toughness. We love the stories of people who never gave up, who kept going no matter what. But we never talk about the emotional toll, about the nights spent alone, the anxiety hidden beneath stillness, the breakdowns behind closed doors. We want our heroes to be strong, not messy. We want them to inspire us, but not to show us their pain. And so the strong become trapped, not by weakness, but by the weight of constant expectation. If they open up, people say, "But you're always so strong. You'll get through this." They mean well, but it invalidates the pain. It silences the cry before it's even voiced. And eventually, the strong stop trying. They stop sharing. They stop hoping someone will understand. They shrink into their role, because it's all anyone's ever let them be. But strength without vulnerability is not sustainable. It's not real strength, it's survival. Real strength is knowing when to ask for help. It's crying and not apologizing for it. It's being able to say, "I'm tired," without guilt. The strongest people aren't the ones who hide their pain the best. They're the ones who find the courage to be seen in their most fragile state. If you've ever felt like you can't afford to fall apart, like you have to hold everything together because no one else will, you're not alone. That weight you're carrying, It's not yours to hold alone. You've done enough. You've been strong for everyone else. Now it's time to be kind to yourself. You don't have to keep performing strength just to be loved. You are lovable in your tears, in your silence, in your soft, messy truth. It's okay to not be the one who holds everyone else up. It's okay to let go, to break down, to admit that you're not okay. There is no weakness in that. In fact, there's more bravery in those moments than in all the days you smiled through pain. And if you've never had someone tell you this, let me be the first. You don't have to be strong all the time. You don't have to pretend. You don't have to carry the world just to prove your worth. You already matter without the mask, without the strength, without the performance. The world may not always understand your silence, but that doesn't mean you are wrong to feel it. Your emotions are valid, your pain is real, and your need for rest is human. You were never meant to do this alone, and even if no one has told you this lately, you deserve to be held too. To the ones who never ask for help, to the ones who carry more than they speak of, to the ones who are always okay, even when they're not. This message is for you. You've held everything together for so long that people have forgotten to ask whether you're tired. You're the first one people call in a crisis, the one who knows how to fix things, the one who always has the right words, but who is there for you when the weight becomes too much, who checks on you, not because they need something, but because they truly care. Often, the answer is no one, and that silence is what slowly breaks the strongest hearts. You've built your strength over years of hardship. Life didn't give you a choice. Somewhere along the way, you learned that being strong was safer than being soft. You learned that if you didn't take care of yourself, no one else would, and so you kept moving forward. You showed up even when your legs were shaking. You smiled even when your heart was heavy. You gave when you were empty, and you loved even when you felt unloved. But now you're tired, not just physically, but emotionally. There's a deep fatigue in your soul that no amount of sleep can fix. And you wonder, how long can I keep doing this? You wonder if anyone will ever notice when you start to fade. Because that's what happens to the strong. They don't explode. They just slowly disappear behind quiet smiles, behind distant eyes, behind the same words they always say. I'm fine. But you are not fine, and you don't have to pretend anymore. You see, there is no shame in needing rest. There is no weakness in needing to be held. You've carried so much for so long that you've forgotten you deserve softness too. You deserve to be the one who leans instead of being leaned on. You deserve to be asked, how's your heart? Without being expected to fix someone else's. Healing begins when you stop pretending that pain doesn't exist. Healing begins when you give yourself permission to say, I need help. And yes, that may feel terrifying at first. Vulnerability often does. But vulnerability isn't weakness, it's honesty. And honesty is the beginning of freedom. You are not a burden. Your feelings are not too much. Your needs are not inconvenient. You've given so much to the world. It's time to give some of that kindness back to yourself. Take a deep breath. Put down what isn't yours to carry. Let the tears come if they need to. Let the silence speak. Let your body rest. There is no one you have to prove your strength to anymore. And if the world only loved you for what you could do for it, then it never truly loved you. You are not only valuable when you're useful. You are not only lovable when you're strong. You matter even when you're tired. You matter even when you're quiet. You matter even when you're just being. So to all the strong ones out there, please don't wait until you break to begin healing. Don't wait until your silence becomes suffering. Reach out, speak up, let someone in. And if no one has told you this today, let me be the first. You are enough. You are seen. You are loved. And you don't have to do this alone anymore. This world needs your strength, but it also needs your truth. It needs your heart. And your heart deserves the same care you give to everyone else. You've held the weight of others for so long. Now let someone hold you.